Pacheco, venga, vamos a bailar. Oiga, compa Jiménez, venga, vamos a bailar. Esta cumbia sabrosa que se echó muy popular. Esta cumbia sabrosa que el bebé la va a bailar. Y por las tardes a la playa ya se va. Y por las tardes a la playa ya se va. Linda mulata no le espera para ver. Audio Lunática ya es internacional. 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 Oye, que esos Derek, Atair, Abraham, Audio Lunática. Naúd, el enfermero de Tierra Libertad, su señora esposa y su hijo, pa' que lo bailen, venga. Y todo mundo con la mano bien arriba, más arriba, bien arriba, arriba, arriba. Levante la mano la gente que quiere a Lili, la cumpleañera. Esto es el show en vivo de Reyes Vallenatos para
I'm
ti.
gonna be going ahead and trying to get the suspension on this truck. I'm gonna be changing out the upper and the lower control arms. But before I get started, I gotta get some stuff off the truck, like these little tabs here. Pull that off because behind here there's gonna be some bolts and some nuts that I gotta loosen up, so I'll be able to take this off. I'm gonna take the caliper off, and then essentially take this line, move it over off to the side, and then go ahead and, somehow position it here where it's not putting a lot of strain on this line. And then I will be taking out the upper and the lower, the spring. All that's going to come off because all getting replaced. And then I've got I'm going to have to do the same thing on the opposite side. So I'm going to show you here a little bit of what I'm going to be doing. Like I said, I'm going to take these off, and then from there, we'll keep on rolling. So I'm going to try to get these off. Try to preserve these because sometimes, these things are brittle. So try to preserve those. And then use a little tool, little pry bar. That way they all come off in one piece. Reuse them. That's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And this is what I was talking about. See these up light. Loosen these up. We'll go across. Same thing on this side. And then all you can see is got some nice headers. Then I'm gonna be like I said, loosen this up, take these off here, put the caliper somewhere out here, maybe get a bungee cord to fix that here for the moment. And then same thing on the bottom. We'll loosen up those bolts up there. So you take it off. This the spindle, sway bar links, and then the tie rods. So get that one going, and I'll show you here in a little bit. Before, the stuff that I do here is mainly things you can use with your average tools. Like in this case, I got the 3/8 Allen wrench. I'm taking these bolts and loosening them up on the caliper. That's pretty much self-explanatory there. And then loosen up. This comes off. Like I said in the past video, I like to do a lot of the work with just your average toolbox. As you can see, that's all I use right there. And that's pretty much essentially does what a lot of your mechanics that have, a ginormous toolbox, but this is what I have, this is what I work with. Simple tools, nothing too crazy. An impact, stuff from your, Wally World, So when you get to it, just want to give you a little, spill on that. So see how it goes. That simple, guys. Take one sense off, then come to the next one. Do the same thing. Nothing to it. I'm pretty sure some of you guys have done, changing out brakes and stuff like that. So it's just something to keep in mind. Like I said, if you don't got tools, you could try different ways. I tried that one, but obviously the Allen wrench is too long. And so I got the brake hose, caliper, put it on with these little clips that I found in my garage. I took the links off. The top part of the spindle is already loose. I'm gonna get this bottom part. Once it breaks loose, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna leave the jack here, and then I'm gonna take off the bolts that are holding the shock, and then I'll be able to turn the shock to where the little tabs are going in between the actual lower control arm, and then I could bring it down. That way, that spring doesn't just shoot out, because it's obviously it's under a lot of pressure. But we got that. Hold that in here. That way, like I said, it's not putting a whole bunch of pressure on this line, kind of loose. And then on the next step, I'll show you guys once it's already off. I'm pretty sure I've seen tons of videos of people taking off spindles, but it's kind of walk you through a little bit of the process or show you as I'm going along. Spindles out. Spindles out. The next step is going to be taking this upper control arm, loosen it up, and then I can get to the bolt that's holding the shock, and then I could go ahead and drop this down. The spring will come out, and then I'll take off the bolts that are back here for the lower control arm, and then all this will be completely removed. I'll clean it up, spray it in here, make it look really nice, and then I'll go ahead and start assembling back everything on the passenger side of the truck, and then I'll do the same thing on the driver's side. So I'll keep going at it and see how it goes.